Hi! Today we're going to show you how to use the Candi-Band Creator. Included in your kit is a 6-piece Candi-Band Creator tool, design templates, colorful beads, elastic cording, and a bead weaving needle. Not included in your kit are tape and scissors. To assemble the Candi-Band Creator, start with the bead tray and side panels. Slide a panel onto each side of the bead tray with the flat sides facing out. Once you have finished assembling the base, pour the beads into the bead tray, separating them by color. This will make the pattern easier to follow. Slide a purple ring onto each end of the bead holder. Push the rings all the way onto the holder until they can't go any further. Place the bead holder onto the Candi-Band base so that the 2 purple rings sit in between the pink side panels. Your bead holder should spin with ease. Included in your kit are 10 design templates. You can find additional templates online using the link provided on your instructions. Today we will be making the I Heart You Candi-Band bracelet. To begin, roll your template into a cylinder so that the top and bottom pieces match up. Then, grab a piece of tape and apply the tape to where the top and bottom pieces meet. Next, slide the design into the bead holder and adjust so that each square matches up with the ridges on your bead holder. Now it's time to start beading. All the design templates vary in width. The width of your bracelet can be determined by the amount of gray that is on the template. Be sure to leave all gray areas empty, as they are not meant to be beaded. If your design contains letters or words, start with the letters first to make the pattern easier to follow. Rotate the bead holder forward as you go, so it's easier to follow the template. Once your word is finished, begin to bead by color. I'm going to start with the pink section of my pattern. One by one, pop the beads into the bead holder following the template. Once you've finished with the first color, move on to the next. Continue beading until your pattern is complete. Use the ruler on the front of your tool to measure your cording. For this particular design there are 18 rows, so I will cut 5 6-foot strands of elastic cording. Keep in mind that you may not use all of the elastic, but it's good to have on the side just in case. Thread one end of a strand of cording through the eye of the curved needle and set the others aside. Leave about 1 inch on one side of the needle and pull the rest of the cording through the other side. You will begin weaving your Candi-Band bracelet on the right-hand side of the tool. Select one of the pegs on the ring. This will be your starting point. Now it's time to begin weaving. Take the bead weaving needle and thread it through the first bead to the left and slightly above the first peg. Wrap the last inch of the longer side of elastic cording around the indent on the selected peg. Wrap the cording around 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull it tightly and then hook the end of the cording underneath the slot on the first peg of the purple ring. This will hold the cording in place while you make your bracelet. For this particular project, the orange bead is the first one that I will be threading. If your design template has gray sections, pull the cording over the gray sections and through the first bead on the bead holder. To prevent the cording from falling out of the needle, hold onto the eye as you weave. Once you are done threading the first bead, push the needle through the second bead that sits above and to the left. For this design, my second bead is purple. Pull the cording all the way through. Then, thread the needle through the bead that is to the left and below of the previous one. In this case, the white bead. Pull the cording all the way through and then thread the needle through the bead that is above and to the left. Continue this pattern of weaving up and down until the first row is complete. If any of the beads fall out while weaving, simply push them back into the mold. Once you've finished weaving the first row, pull the elastic cording tightly and hook it underneath the slot, down and to the left of the last bead woven. Once the cording is secure, begin weaving the next bead below the last, in this case, the blue bead. Note that as you continue to make your bracelet, you will weave through some beads that have already been woven. Next, push your needle through the bead slightly above to the right, in this case, the white bead. Then weave the needle through the bead to the right and below. Continue this pattern until you have finished the second row of your design. Once you reach the end of the row, unhook the cording from the slot on the left-hand side. Pull the cording tightly until the loop is pulled all the way through the row of beads. Hook the cording underneath the slot below and to the right of the last woven bead. In this case, the orange bead. Then, thread the needle through the bead directly beneath the last woven bead of the second row. Rotate the bead holder forward as you weave, so you are always weaving in the front. Continue weaving the same pattern until you've reached the end of this piece of elastic cording. Remember to hook the cording underneath the slot when you reach the end of a row, and to remove it once you reach the other side. Always pull tightly before moving on to the next row. When you've almost reached the end of the piece of cording, pull it tightly, then wrap it around the closest peg 6 times. Hook the end of the cording underneath the slot so that it stays in place. It is important to pull tightly and make sure that the cord is secure in its position. There should be one blank peg between where you started and where you ended. Take another piece of cording from the pieces you cut earlier. Wrap it around the peg beneath the peg from the previous step. Hook the cording underneath the slot below. Thread the other end through the bead weaving needle. Continue to weave your candy band bracelet following the same steps as before. Repeat these steps, weaving up and down through the beads until all of your beads have been woven with elastic cording. Once you have finished weaving all the beads, you will need to tie the cording wrapped around the pegs together into a knot. I'm going to start with the beginning piece of cording and the end. Pull the 2 strands that are next to each other tightly. Make a loop with the 2 pieces of cording and pull the ends through. Do this twice, pulling tightly to ensure that your knot is as tight as possible before you tie each double knot. Once you are done with the first knot, move to the second if needed, then third, fourth, etc. Cut off any excess cording after you've tied the knots. Once each knot is secure, it is time to take your design off of the loom. Begin by lifting the bead holder from the base of the candy band tool. Remove the purple rings and set aside. Hold the tool vertically and, beginning on one end, slowly snap the beads out of the bead holder one by one. As you pop out each row, roll the bracelet over the bead holder. If you are having trouble, ask an adult for assistance. Flip your bracelet inside out. You have now completed your first candy band beaded bracelet. Don't forget, for more templates, visit us online.